चिरिंचिरात् कर्णावतीर्णः कलौ समर्पयितुं नतोजरसां भक्तिश्रियम् हरिपुरटसुन्दरद्युतिः कदम्बसन्दीपितः सदा हृदये कन्दरे स्मृत्वा शुचिनन्दनः संसारदुःखजलधौ परितस्य कामः क्रोधादिनकर्मकरी कबलीकृतस्य दुर्वासना निगडितस्य निराश्रयस्य चैतन्यचन्द्रमम देहि पदावलम्बम् चैतन्यचन्द्रममृत्कुमुदम्बिकाश्च रुध्यं विदेहिजचिन्तनभृङ्गरङ्गैः किञ्चापराधमिदं निबिदं विधूय पादामृतं सदयपाय दुर्गतं मां सङ्कर्षणाकारणतो यशायि गर्भोदिशायि च पयोदिशायि केशस्य स्यां सकलसनित्यः नन्दाख्यरामः शरणं ममास्तु। सर्वप्रथम अस्मदे गुरुपाद पद्म किला पृष्ठ जगद्गुरु शिष्य भक्तिदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज जी के अभय चरणारविंदों में अनंत कोटि दंडोत प्रणाम अर्पण करता हूँ। त्रिंडी स्वामी शिष्य भक्तिदांत दंडी महाराज जी, नामनिष्ठ संत श्री अनिरुद्धास प्रभु जी और समस्त वैष्णव के चरणों में मेरा यथार्थ दंडोत प्रणाम अर्पण है। अभी हम लोग वी आर नाउ डिस्कसिंग थर्ड वर्स ऑफ द सेकंड चैप्टर। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। यहाँ हियर इट इज टोल्ड ऑल ग्लोरीज टू महाप्रभु श्री चैतन्य देव, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री अद्वैत चंद्र, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री डिवोटीज ऑफ गौरांग महाप्रभु, all glories to Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Shri Nityananda, all glories to Advait Chandra, all glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga. Now verse number 4. Tritiya shlokerartha kari vivaran vastu nirdesha rupa mangalacharan. Let me describe the meaning of the third verse of the first 14. It is an auspicious vibration that describes the absolute truth. So here and now he is describing the third verse. And what is the subject matter of this particular book? He is describing that. So this is a very important verse, verse number 5. Yad advaitam brahmopanishadi tadapyasya tanubha sa atma antaryami purusheti swasyamsha vibhava chadaishwarye purno yahya bhagavan sa swayamayam न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्वं परमिहा. Now it is told here that what the Upanishad describe as the impersonal Brahma is but the effulgence of his body. Impersonal Brahma is the effulgence of Krishna's body, and the Lord known as the Super Soul is but his localized plenary portion. So as the Upanishads describe that impersonal Brahma is nothing but the effulgence of Krishna's body. In fact, all the light that is in the sun and the moon, that is nothing but the reflection of this Krishna's bodily effulgence. And the Lord is super soul in the heart of all living entities. He is Paramatma. And he is the localized plenary portion of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, full with 6 opulences. The 6 opulences will be described in the Jaiva Dharma class very elaborately. What are the 6 opulences? Everyone should know them by heart. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasriya jnana vairagyavashaiva sharnam bhagam itingana. I'll repeat. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasriya Jnana Vairagya Shaiva Sharnam Bhagam Itingana. Aishwarya, all opulence. Aishwarya Samagrasya Viryasya, all the strength. All the strength. So this is from Vishnu Puran. This Vishnu Puran was written by who? This was written by Parashar Muni, the father of Shri Vyasadeva. So, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasriya jnana vairagyavashaiva sharnam bhagamitingana. One who is complete in the 6 opulences of wealth. Now wealth is, Krishna has unlimited wealth. Like so many rich people are there. Bill Gates, Bezos, and whatnot. But their wealth is very insignificant compared to Krishna's wealth. Power also, Krishna has unlimited power. Krishna is unlimitedly famous. Krishna is unlimitedly beautiful, knowledgeable, and renounced. So he is called Bhagwan. Huh? Hmm. So 6 opulences which are in Krishna also are in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only thing is that Gurudev was telling that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than Radha and Krishna both together. He is more merciful than Krishna, even more merciful than Radha, because he is the combined form of them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful than Radha Krishna. So he is the absolute truth, Param Satya, and no other truth is greater than or equal to him. He is the highest truth. In the world, in the material world, we speak the truth, but that's a relative truth. We do not speak the absolute truth. Understand? Absolute truth is Harikatha, the pastimes of Sri Krishna. This is absolute truth. Because they never change. The pastimes are always eternal. The moment we say, for example, we speak relative truth in this world. I say that I am young, but you are saying that you are young, but this your word is not absolute truth. Because the moment you say young, you are actually 1 second older. So you will become older and older and older. You cannot be young. So we cannot speak absolute truth in this material world because this is a relative world. This material world exists in relation to the spiritual world. Understand? So that's why you only speak the relative truth in this material world. So the compilers of the Upanishads speak very highly of the impersonal Brahman. The Upanishads, which are considered the most elevated portion of the Vedic literatures, are meant for persons who desire to get free from material association and who therefore approach a bona fide spiritual master for enlightenment. Actually, the prefix upa indicates that one must receive knowledge about the absolute truth from a spiritual master. Upa means actually go near. So you have to go near the spiritual master. Understand? So the Ritu philosophy doesn't agree with this. They say that, oh no, we can just read the books of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and that's it. No need to approach a living spiritual master. But no, we should approach a bona fide spiritual master and we should try to learn the science of Krishna consciousness from that spiritual master. So one who has faith in his spiritual master actually receives transcendental instruction and his attachment for material world slackens. When we receive the instructions from the spiritual master, our attachment to the material world will slacken. In the beginning, we have very strong attachment for the material world. Very, very strong attachment people have. But slowly, by following the instructions of the spiritual masters, it will slacken. For example, Prahlad Maharaj told in Shri Prabuddha in Bhagavatam, it is told, Karmani arabdhamananam dukkha te sukhaye cha pashyeta paka viparyasa mithuna charinam nunam. So Prabhupada said, having accepted the role of male and female in human society, conditioned souls unite in sexual relationships. So one person will play the role of a male, some other living entity will play the role of a female. And they will unite in sexual relationship. These are both conditioned souls do this. Thus they constantly make material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. So all the endeavor in the material world is to eliminate the unhappiness. We just want to eliminate the unhappiness and we want to increase our pleasure unlimitedly. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In the material world, like I was in New York, sometimes I used to see that there are so many parties going on, And many of these parties, they used to take drugs. And many youngsters used to die due to drugs overdose. Everywhere in New York City, I used to see that Don't mix liquor and drugs. They used to say that it's a deadly combination. You'll die. So they want to heighten their happiness. They are not satisfied with what they have. So they take rave parties are there. There's so many drugs and all. And there are so many chemical overdose deaths I have seen in America. I read about them. So you see that hippies were trying to do that. They were trying to unlimitedly enjoy their senses. But actually, it leads to the opposite thing. It leads to sudden death, quick death, painful death. So one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes. And as they grow older, their material discomfort increases. So one day you have to become old. Have no doubt about it. If anyone has a doubt about it, no, you should not remove that doubt right away. Absolutely no chance that you'll stay young forever. I experienced that from my own example. I'm no more young. And you'll also one day have to become old. Understand? When I was young, I could not believe that I will be one day old. But now it's reality. Understand? Slowly, slowly, the body is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So, so collective efforts by nations for happiness and peace and individual efforts for sex pleasure give instead unhappiness and misery, not happiness and peace. You should understand that. So all the efforts lead to unhappiness. So here, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj is telling that knowledge of the transcendental science of the Upanishads can free one from the entanglement of existence in the material world. And when thus liberated, one can be elevated to the spiritual kingdom of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by advancement in spiritual knowledge. The whole thing is, the whole exercise is to go to Vaikuntha or even beyond Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan. Understand? Free the living entity from all these tribulations, these miseries. Actually, one Didi, she's actually going to be an Ayurvedic doctor. Danti Maharaj only told her. She lives in Tirupati. Her name is Rajita. And so she wanted to take up the course. So Sripad Danti Maharaj told her, oh, you should take this Ayurvedic course. So she's going to be a doctor. And she said, Maharaj, sometimes I cry, seeing the misery of the people, I cry, They come to OPD or, operation and such pain these doctors see actually in their life. So there is always so much disease and death, old age. You go to hospital, you see so many very serious cases. So the beginning of spiritual enlightenment is the realization of impersonal Brahman. Like my friend Amit Krishna Prabhu, he told, he lives in Lucknow, my god brother. And he told that his mother, what she suffered actually was, unmentionable. She told last part of her life. It was karma, obviously. Means he was from a rich family, quite rich family. Everything was there, but some pain comes, some type of like today. You saw on Facebook that message. Vishaka Didi maybe forwarded that or someone about Kadamba Kanand Swami. He says that I have very little time to live. The cancer is now spreading. Understand? So he said, now I have whatever God, a doctor has told him that he's a disciple of I think Maharaj from ISKCON, and so he told, I met him actually, Kadamba Kanand Swami, and he said that cancer is spreading now. Doctor told you have some years to live, but cannot tell how much, but few years you have to live. But he said the end is coming. He can see the end coming. So Maharaj realized that, Kadamba Kanand Maharaj realized that. He is a disciple of Jayadvaita Maharaj. So, but see, death is always knocking at the gate. Understand? Because Kadamba Kanand Swami, once he was shot, some Indian devotee in because of some politics, he was shot actually. He was in a bathroom and some gunshot came and he was wounded with a bullet actually due to some temple politics, whatever. That time he was saved actually, Kadamba Kanand Maharaj. But now eventually he has cancer actually. So you see that these are all dangers. Someone may shoot you, some disease may come, some accident. This is a part of life. Understand? So one day we may have to die. So the beginning of spiritual enlightenment is realization of impersonal Brahma. So you see, knowing the impersonal Brahma is not the end of it, as the Mayavadis may say, actually. But it is the beginning, impersonal Brahma. Like the four Kumaras, for that matter. They were actually attached to the Brahman conception. But when they met Narayan, and by the instructions of Lord Brahma, they became devotees of the personal form of the Bhagavan. Shukdev Goswami also in the beginning he was attached to the impersonal Brahma. But by hearing Bhagavatam from Vyasadeva, he became attached to the personal aspect of Godhead. So Srila Prabhupada is telling that such realization is effected by gradual negation of material variegatedness. Understand? Basically, it's like negating the material variegatedness. Shankaracharya tried to create a sense of unity in the Hindu culture because there was so much fighting was going on. Ganesh Bhaktas were fighting with Saraswati devotees. Ganesh Bhaktas they are called Ganapatya, Saraswati devotees are called Saraswats. And also there are Narayan Bhaktas, they are actually Vaishnavas. There are also Shiva Bhaktas, they are called Shaivas. Like this. And the Indian society was fighting. So Shankaracharya told Sarvam Khalidam Brahma, everything is impersonal Brahma. And the Hindus united. Understand? Otherwise, they were fighting. But impersonal Brahma is actually bodily effulgence of Krishna, and it is not the ultimate realization. So Brahman realization, impersonal Brahman realization is the partial distant experience of the absolute truth. Here the word distant experience is very, very important. Distant experience means you are seeing the city of Tirupati or Bangalore from very far away. It looks like a ball of light. As our train is entering Tirupati, from distance you can see only light, street lights, domestic lights, industrial lights, electric, night time especially. It's only light. So it's a distant experience of Tirupati. Like a seeing a mango. Now this is a mango season in Tirupati, and you can look at a mango from a distance. It may appear to be very sweet, but if you take it in the hand and you smell it, it will even smell sweeter. And if you cut it and eat it, it is the sweetest aspect of it. Really, if you want to experience sweetness, you have to cut a mango and put it in your mouth. Then you realize how sweet it is. Looking at it gives some distant pleasure. Holding it in hand and smelling it gives even more pleasure. That is Paramatma realization. Looking at it from a far distance is like Brahman realization. Holding a mango in the hand and smelling it that is the Paramatma realization. And cutting and putting it in the mouth, and the mango just melting in the mouth, that is actually Bhagavan realization. Understand? So there are some examples like this can be given. So Srila Swami Maharaj is saying it is compared to one seeing a hill from a distance and taking it to be a smoky cloud. This is actually very, very often we see this, like in Tirupati, especially in the rainy season, which will begin any time. And we see the Tirumala hills actually. Oh, it is just looking like a smoky clouds. So many clouds gather there in Tirumala. Understand? That is very, very correct. Prabhupada is giving. That is Brahman realization. Looking at the hill from a very far distance. That is Brahman realization. So now, it is told that in imperfect or smoky realization of the absolute truth, spiritual variegatedness is conspicuous by its absence. There is no variegated in the Brahman realization. It's all one. Understand? This experience is therefore called Advaitavada, realization of oneness of the absolute. Now, if there is no variegatedness, actually you cannot really enjoy. Because suppose every day you are given how much nice sabji you make, potato sabji or whatever it is. Suppose you are served all your life only potato sabji and chapati or rice. You go mad, you go crazy. What? Every day potatoes, every day potatoes, every day potatoes. That is what happens in Russia sometimes. The Russians, they are actually, nothing grows there for 6 months. It's so cold out there. So all they have to, they store the potatoes and the rice and potatoes. That's it. And they cook rice or grechka, as they call it. Grechka means basically buckwheat and potatoes. And that is what their staple food is. So they are so fed up by the end of the winter, they are just waiting for some vegetables to grow. And once Gurudev told him he cannot even eat carrots, and they were so displeased. They said, "Oh, wait a minute. 6 months we are only eating potatoes, and when carrots come, you are even not allowing us to take carrots." So they said, "Okay, if you want, you can take carrots. The yellow carrots you can take. Don't take the red ones." But he said, "I will not eat them." He allowed them some concessions because it's so austere there. Just potatoes, kartushka, kartushka, kartushka. Their language is kartushka. Understand? That is no variety. You need variegatedness. Very much you want variegatedness. Bhagwan has so many variegated forms. Sri Krishna has so many variegated forms, backstabs, associates. Even while doing japa also, not that you have to be monotonous. You could remember so many pastimes of Krishna. Unlimited pastimes are there. Understand? It can be so relishable. Actually, there is no end to how many pastimes Sri Krishna has. So, the impersonal glowing effulgence of Brahman consists only of the personal bodily rays of the Supreme Godhead, Sri Krishna. Sri Gaurasundar or Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is identical with Sri Krishna. Antar Krishna Bahir Gaura, Darshita Angadi Vaibhavam, Kalau Sankirtanadhyasma Krishna Chaitanya Mahashray. Antar Krishna Bahir Gaura. Inside he is Krishna, but outside he is Gaura. Antar Krishna Bahir Gaura Darshita Angadi Vaibhavam, Kalau Sankirtanadhyasma Krishna Chaitanya Mahashray. Inside is Krishna, outside is Gaura. So we are worshipping him like that. But Gaura and Krishna are the same tattva, no difference. Similarly, the super soul, which is called the Paramatma, is a plenary representation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Antaryami, the super soul in everyone's heart, is the controller of all living entities. Actually, what to do, what not to do, this intelligence Paramatma will give us. Remembrance, forgetfulness is coming from Paramatma. Paramatma is the super soul. It's controlling our soul from within. Understand? So in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, there is so much information is giving about the Sarvasya Chaham Hridisanne Vishnu. I am situated in everyone's heart. So here it is told that Sarvasya Chaham Hridisanne Vishnu Matta Smutir Jnanama Pohanam Cha. Sarvasya Chaham Hridisanne Vishnu Matta Smutir Jnanama Pohanam Cha. Vedeshcha sarver ahame bhavetyo Vedanta Kurtveda Videva Chaham. I am situated as Antaryami in the hearts of all living entities. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Understand? So this Krishna is telling that just as I am Vaishwanar, the digestive fire in the stomach, I, Antaryami, have entered the hearts of all moving and non-moving entities as the principle of memory. Understand? Basically, in everyone's stomach, there is one particular fire, Vaishwanar. This fire will help you digest the food. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashita Pranapana Samayuktam Pachami Annam Chaturvidam. So, Krishna is helping us digest the food. So, like this, he also entered into the hearts of all moving and non-moving entities. Moving entities means animals and human beings. And non-moving living entities means the trees and creepers. And he is the principle of memory. From me, one remembers those objects he has previously experienced. And when senses contact sense objects, knowledge comes. So you see that this is all Krishna's mercy, his memory. Understand? One remembers those objects he has previously experienced. And when the senses contact sense objects, knowledge comes. Understand? Loss of memory and knowledge also occur because of me, Bhagavan is telling. If if you have some memory of something, that is also because of Krishna. And if you have forgotten something, that is also of Krishna. Understand? Basically, actually, forgetfulness is also mercy. Understand? Lot of time we stick to the distress. We have experienced nightmares, or something bad that has happened in your life. But if you forget that, that is mercy of Krishna. Like for example, many times I used to pray to Krishna that some bitter experience in my life, uh, some moments I should rather forget than remember, which are paining my heart or giving some agony to my heart. I pray to Krishna, please let me forget it. Let me forget those moments because they're paining my heart. Understand? And Krishna takes them away. Pray to Guru and Krishna, please wipe out those bad memories. Understand? This is all Krishna. Understand? Krishna can do that. And let me remember the mercy of Guru Vaishnava, Krishna like this. This also Krishna can do that. He can make us remember him and Vaishnavas, and he can also make us forget the bad things which happen in our life. So, basically Krishna is assisting the living entity. When the living entity is bound by Maya, and Krishna he arranges that the living entity is liberated. So how does Krishna help us? He becomes the compiler of Vedanta through the incarnation called Vedas. So Krishna alone knows the meaning of Vedas. Krishna alone knows the meaning of the Vedas because he has become himself Vedas. Other than Krishna, no one else knows the meaning of the Vedas. So Krishna is situated in the heart of all the jivas. And according to the results of the jiva's past actions, they acquire memory, knowledge to continue their deeds, and also forgetfulness of their past lives. So basically, like you see many times, like some small girl, she can do wonderful mathematical calculations. Like about this time in Bhagavad. In Delhi, I saw one girl, she could remember so many Bhagavatam verses. Even Gopi Geet and Pranay Geet and like that, 50, 100, 200, 500 verses. This is also from the past life, understand? Otherwise, small girls like that age cannot remember so many verses. Even when I was 5, I didn't know so many verses. But there are some past life information some people have and they can remember wonderful slokas, things that, understand? So, here, the Bhagavad Gita 5.29 also states, Bhoktara Yakita Prasam Sarvaloka Maheshwara, indicating that the Supreme Lord acting in his expansion as a super soul is the proprietor of everything. Supreme Lord acting in his expansion as super soul. Super soul is the proprietor of everything. So basically, this verse you should always remember. This is called the peace formula. If the world peace has to be achieved, then this verse should be imprinted on your mind. Bhoktaram Yakatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Surudam Sarvabhutanam Gyatvamam Shanti Pruchati. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. So we should not fight. Oh, who is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices? Krishna is the enjoyer. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Dhandas Prabhu. Hare Krishna. करिए, मैं अभी थोड़ा क्लास में हूँ, मेरा थोड़ा क्लास है, ठीक है ना, हम ऑनलाइन क्लास में हूँ. हरे कृष्णा कर दीजिए. हरे कृष्णा. धन्यवाद. हरि बोल. हरि. So, अब यहाँ कह रहे कि he is telling that Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities. Whatever we austerities do is for Krishna. He is the supreme controller of all planets and the well-wisher of all the jivas. If you know this, you'll get liberation. So like Jnani, a yogi can also get liberation by knowing Paramatma. And this knowledge of Paramatma appears through bhakti only. So that's why Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices performed by the karmis. And he is the sustainer of tapasya austerities performed by the jnanis. He is the worshipable object of karmis, jnanis and yogis. And he is Antaryami, the only supreme controller, Maheshwar of all the planets. Understand? He is the well-wisher of all jivas. Because through his bhaktas, he bestows instructions on his bhakti. So, the Bhagavad Gita also states, similarly, the Brahma Samhita states, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastha. Understand? So, Brahma Samhita says, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastha. The Lord is present everywhere within the heart of every living entity. And within each and every atom as well. Thus, this super soul feature of the Lord is all pervading. He is in every single atom and in the heart of all the living entities. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. Ekopyasavrachekam Jagadanda Kotim Yashaktirasti Jagadanda Jayananta Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamamadi. Potency and the possessor of potency are one undifferentiated principle. Potency and the possessor. The potency by which billions of universes are created is situated inseparably within Bhagwan. All the universes are situated within Bhagwan. And by the influence of his inconceivable potency, Bhagwan is also fully present in every atom of the universe. I worship that original personality of God. Now let's see. All the universes are situated inside Bhagwan, within Bhagwan. And Bhagwan is also situated in every single atom. Now this is how to understand this. So as by his inconceivable potency, Bhagwan is situated in every atom of the universes. But all the universes are situated in Bhagwan. So, although Krishna is one, he creates everything and pervades every atom in the creation. Understand? He pervades every atom in the creation. He is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. Srimad Bhagavatam tells about his inconceivable potency. Tavat sarve vatsapalaha Pashyato ajasya tatkshanat Vyadrishyanta Ghanashyamaha Pita Kausheya Vasasa. So Krishna has such inconceivable potency that although Krishna is one, he assumed the form of innumerable cows and covered boys as Brahma looked on again and again. So when Brahma stole the cows and covered boys, Krishna assumed the form of innumerable cows and covered boys. All those forms became shama colored like fresh rain clouds. All these boys were dark in color like fresh rain clouds, and all were having yellow upper garments. All the forms were resplendent with four arms that held the conch, disc, mace, and lotus flowers. So Brahma wondered how covered boys and cows I have stolen, how come they are still around? Then all these forms of covered boys and cows appeared as the four-armed Vishnu forms to him. Then Brahma realized my Krishna himself has expanded as these cows and covered boys. Their heads were adorned with crowns and their ears with earrings, their chests with necklaces and their necks with garlands of forest flowers. All of them looked beautiful with a clockwise curl of hair on their right breast. And that is called Shrivatsa. There's a clockwise curl, is actually like silver in color. Understand? That is the form of Lakshmi. And three lines marking their throats. Like in the throat, there are actually three lines, that is Trivali. And the Kaustubh jewel ornamenting their necks. Kaustubh was in their neck. Understand? So Brahma saw these forms of Krishna like this. They had bracelets on their wrists, ankle bells on their feet, belts on their waist, and rings on their fingers. Each form was decorated from head to toe with a garland of fresh young tulsi leaves, which have which had been offered by some immensely pious personalities, and they were all fulfilling the heart's desires for all their devotees. The moving and non-moving living entities, from Brahma down to insignificant pieces of straw, all assumed forms in which they perform varieties of worship by dancing, singing, playing musical instruments, and offering different types of paraphernalia. She says Bhagavan is all pervading. Every single atom is there. I have no doubt about it. So the Lord is present everywhere within the heart of every living entity and within each and every atom as well. Thus, by this super soul feature, the Lord is all pervading. Furthermore, Lord Chaitanya is also the master of all wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation because he is Shri Krishna himself. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has these six opulences like Krishna. He is described as Purna or complete. In the feature of Lord Chaitanya, the Lord is an ideal renouncer, just as Sri Rama was an ideal king. Understand? So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a renouncer. He is renouncing his beautiful wife, his home, mother, everything, and going to the holy place of Jagannath Puri to do bhajan. Ram was an ideal king. Lord Chaitanya accepted the order of sannyas and exemplified exceedingly wonderful principles in his own life. Understand? Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the renounced order of life. And he showed great principles in his life. No one can compare to him in the order of sannyas. Although in Kali Yuga acceptance of the sannyas order is generally forbidden, but Chaitanya accepted it because he is complete in renunciation. Others cannot imitate him, but can only follow in his footsteps as far as possible. In sannyas is forbidden in Kali Yuga. So question comes that why our Gurudev took sannyas, or Swami Maharaj took sannyas. So it is told that karma sannyas is not allowed, but bhakti sannyas is allowed. Understand? So karma sannyas and bhakti sannyas. Karma sannyas not allowed, but bhakti sannyas is allowed. By an analytical study of the truth of Lord Chaitanya, one will find that he is not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. No one is greater than or equal to him. In Bhagavad Gita 7.7, Lord Krishna says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. There is no truth superior to me, Krishna is saying. Thus it is here confirmed that there is no truth higher than Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya. There is no truth higher than Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam prutam sutre maniganai. That is what it is. So Arjuna, there is nothing superior to me. Again and again Krishna is telling. Everything is dependent on me, resting upon me as pearls strung on a thread. So this is the truth which is very, very clear. O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Thus it is therefore confirmed, it is here confirmed that there is no truth higher than the Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The impersonal Brahman is the goal of those who cultivate the study of books of transcendental knowledge. And the super soul is the goal of those who perform yoga practices. So, Gyanis, they aspire for Brahma Jyoti, impersonal Brahman. And the yogis, those who practice yoga, they aspire for merging in the super soul. And one who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead surpasses renunciation, surpasses realization of both Brahma and Paramatma. If someone knows Krishna, then he is superior than even those who have realization of Brahma and Paramatma. Because Bhagavan is the ultimate platform of absolute knowledge. personality of Godhead is the complete form of Sachidananda, full of life, full life, knowledge and bliss. By realization of such a portion of the complete whole, unlimited existence, one realizes the impersonal Brahman aspect of the Lord. There is a sub portion of the complete whole that gives the realization of the impersonal Brahman. By realizing the Chit portion of the complete whole, unlimited knowledge, one can realize the localized aspect of the Lord, the Paramatma. So there is the aspect of Sat, eternality. That aspect will help us realize impersonal Brahman. But the Supreme Absolute Truth as the knowledge aspect, Chit portion, that will help us realize the localized aspect of the Lord, the Paramatma. But neither of these partial realizations of the complete whole can help one realize Ananda or complete bliss. Without such realization of Ananda, knowledge of the Absolute Truth is incomplete. So this verse of Caitanya Caritamrta by Krishna as Kaviraj Goswami is confirmed by a parallel statement in the Tattva Sandarbha by Srila Jiva Goswami. In the 8th part of Tattva Sandarbha, it is said that the Absolute Truth is sometimes approached as impersonal Brahma, but all the spiritual is only a partial representation of the Absolute Truth. Hare Krishna. So Narayan, the predominating deity in Vaikuntha, is to be known as an expansion of Sri Krishna. But Sri Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the object of the transcendental love of all living entities. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I think we'll stop here today. Tomorrow is a very auspicious day, the appearance day of Sripad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj. I think you should, there will be live program from Bangalore. In Tirupati also, we'll have some program. Sripad Gavasthirimi Maharaj, a disciple of Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj ji, or I think Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj ji, and he took sannyas from Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj ji, if I am not wrong. He is actually a sannyasi living in Tirupati. So we are invited Srila Gavasthirimi Maharaj and to glorify Sripad Dandi Maharaj and explain the Guru Tattva. So on the appearance day of Gurudev, you should supposed to pray to Gurudev's picture, offer him garland, do Guru Puja, read the glories of Guru and Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, like this. So basically it's simple, and make some preparation, offer to Krishna and take prasadam, distribute prasadam to others. So in this way, the appearance day of Guru should be celebrated in the scriptures. Not, don't worry, even if you don't have money, very simple form you can glorify own Guru, your own Gurudev, Sripad Dandi Maharaj, Sripad Bhaktivedanta Dandi Maharaj. Because it's a very auspicious day. And Guru has come to us from the spiritual world. He is not a conditioned soul, understand? Our Guru is actually a pure devotee, and he is come to this world to give us some Krishna consciousness. He wants to help us. Generally speaking, I'll read from Vyasa Puja. Shri Vyasa Puja was celebrated at Shri Uddharan Gaudiya Math to commemorate 50 years from the day of Shri Guru Padma appeared. Understand? So when 1948, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, my Param Gurudev, he became 50-year-old. So that day, he was born in, I think, 1998. Bhaktivedanta Sai Maharaj was 1 year older, was born in 1996. 1 or 2 year older, understand. So in 1948, when Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj finished 50 years, understand, of his life. So that day, there was a puja of Krishna Panchak, Vyasa Panchak, Acharya Panchak of Shri Brahma and others, Sanakadi Panchak, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanatan, Sanat, like this, and Shri Guru Panchak and Upasa Panchak. All they were worshipped actually. Generally speaking, we have to learn this art of performing Prabandha Panchak. We should learn the art of doing this Panchak Puja, Acharya Panchak, Guru Panchak, Upasa Panchak, like this. If you do that, it will be very nice. But then otherwise, you can do simply puja to picture of Sripad Dandi Maharaj and my Gurudev, and try to remember the mercy of the Sripad Dandi Maharaj, how he is helping us spiritually. This is a very great help actually. Cannot be compared to the money. Understand? And celebrate the appearance of Sripad Dandi Maharaj tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarvesha kripa sindhavevacha. Paridanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Dandavatana. All right?
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Thank you.
Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so
Today was
much.
actually some confusion. Today was some confusion, right? Sripad Dandi Maharaj sent a message that, oh, there's a class today. But Maharaj thought it was Friday.
Gurudev thought it was Saturday, Maharaj, today. So I called Maharaj and I said, no, tomorrow. So Maharaj is coming tomorrow. Every Saturday he gives a class, Maharaj. So I'll send you the link after this program. So you can also join in. And there's also a Vyasa Puja, reading offerings and Arti, Kalan, Boga, and bhajans to Gurudev after his class.
Sure. Sure. Yes. Keep on sending me links. On Telegram, if you send me, WhatsApp I'm a little bit slow because Telegram if you send me, I'll forward that. I have a Telegram group, about 1,500 members are there. I will always send the links to that group and and also my Facebook ID. So people can benefit. It is very important that some, not everyone, but few devotees will join. That is something better than nothing. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that even if we can save one living entity from the clutches of Maya, it is superior to opening millions of hospitals. So we should try to help everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone has any questions, comments? Please let me know.
Yes, Maharaj, thank you. Sorry, Maharaj, where did you stop today?
Today, actually, we almost completed the verse number. Verse number actually 5. 2.5 we completed. Now next time we'll begin with 2.6. Please note it down and remind me, because I take 4 classes. I just cannot.
Yes, ma'am. And it's still chapter 2.
Next time we'll begin with Brahma, Atma, Bhagavan, Anuvada Tina, Anga Prabha, Amsha Swarupa, Tina Videya Chinna. We'll begin from that. Brahma, Atma, Bhagavan, Anuvada Tina. So we'll begin from the verse number 2.6. This is very important discussion. It's very Caitanya Caritamrta and Caitanya Bhagavat. We must read all the Vaishnavas. Caitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy will come if we read these books. Gurudev will be very happy. Actually, there is, I have a Hindi commentary which was compiled by Shri Gokul Chandra Prabhu by the desire of Srila Gurudev. So sometimes I also translate from that. And maybe next time I will again visit this 2.5 and maybe read from the Hindi version also. Because Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj commentary we read, but we should also try to read this. Little complicated in Hindi, but I will translate it for you to the best of my ability. Next time. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
All the devotees, thank you very much.
Maharaj, Sati Mataji wants to sing. So, Sati Mataji, you here?
Yeah, she is a very enthusiastic devotee. Hare Krishna. Hare. Please sing a bhajan, okay?
Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Sati Mataji.
Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana Shri Govinda Gopinath Madana Mohana Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Giri Kali Yamuna Jaya banti bata dwas dasa karana sahasa balila kolo Srininda Nanda Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya
Krishna Vrindavana
Sri Damati Jaya Jaya Danuvat Jana Jaya Vrindavana Jaya Kirti Sundari Jaya Pavanamati Jaya Viratnagari
Aviranagari
Jaya Jaya Gopi Vada Jaya Vrindamaha Jaya Jaya Krishna Saka Bhanuja Raja Jaya Ramagata Jaya Rohini Nandana Jaya Jaya Vrindavana Bansi Jana Jaya Dwarapati Jaya Naga Kandhaya Naga Hara Pailo Govinda Charana Sri Ratna Mandala Jaya Jaya Radha Shama Jaya Jaya Rasalila Leela Sarvamanorama Jaya Jaya Jayamala Rasa Sarvarasa Sara Parakiya Pavo Jaha Brinte Prasthana Jaya Jaya Radha Jaya Krishna Jaya Vrindavana Govinda Gopinatha Madana Mohana. The meaning says, all glory to Radha Krishna and the divine forest of Vrindavan. All glories to Sri presiding deity of Vrindavan, Sri Govinda, Gopinatha and Madana Mohana. All glories to Swamakunda, Radhakunda, Govardhan Hill, and Yamuna River. All glories to the great forest known as Mahavana, where Krishna and Balarama play all their childhood pastime. All glories to Kesagata, where Krishna killed the Kesa demon. All glories to Vamsi Vata tree, where Krishna attract all the gopis to come by playing his flute. All glories to the 12 forests of Braja. At this place, the son of Nanda, Sri Krishna performed all his pastime. All glories to Krishna, divine father and mother, Nanda and Yashoda. All glories to the cowherd boys, head of Sri Dama, the elder brother of Srimati Radharani and Ananga Manjari. All glories to the cow and calf of Braja. All glories to Radha, divine mother and father of Vrindavanu and the beautiful Kirtida. All glories to Purna Masi, the mother of Sadipani Muni, grandmother of Madhu Mangal and Nandi Mukhi, and beloved disciple of Devasri Nara. All glories to the young cowherd maiden of Raja. All glories to Gopivara Seva, all residing in Vrindavan in order to protect the holy Dharma. All glories to Krishna, funny Brahmin friend. Madha Mangal. All glories to Ramagata, where Lord Brahma performed his rasa dance. All glories to Balaram, the son of Rohini. All glories to the resident of Vrindavan. All
Haribo.
glories to the wife of the proud Vedic Brahman. All glories to the wife of Kaliya the serpent. Through pure devotion, they all obtained the lotus feet of Govinda. All glories to the place where rasa dance of Krishna was performed. All glory to Radha and Sham. All glories, all glories. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam,
Haribo.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Beautiful singing. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare. Happy Vyasa Puja to all of you. Happy Subhat Dandi Maharaj appearance day tomorrow. So thank you so much. Huh? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavats.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. Thank
Krishna,
you.
Dandavat Pranams. Thank you, Maharaj. Please join us
Dandavats.
tomorrow for the program, if you can.
Sure, sure. Send me the link. Telegram. Huh?
I will
Thank you.
send you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Dandavat. Hare Krishna. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, Jai Diwani, please. Thank you, Hare Krishna.